Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that the Patreon for DMO73 Gaming has relaunched with all new rewards, including a brand new exclusive Discord server that we can all be a part of, and lots of other exclusive stuff available just to patrons who support the channel. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. Here's a link on the screen. That's patreon.com/DMO73. With that out of the way, enjoy the feature match. Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you another featured match for the week. Today I am playing a Red Fox list that was designed by fellow Team Ogre member Thomas Graham, and I am playing against James McMillen, who is playing a Glorious Reanimator list. Shout out to Force of Will Malaysia, that crew, for hooking me up with some of these awesome Force of Will dice. These are super exclusive, and they have the 6 Force of Will characters, 6 of them on one of each side. Super cool. I believe James won the die roll, and he has chosen to go first in here. We are both walking into this matchup blind. Neither of us knew what the other one was playing, so that might be an influence about it. So this is also New Frontiers, keep that in mind. Fox is a list that is going to not really see much change after rotation, which I think makes him super viable right now for getting a lot of practice and finding out how the deck's going to work the best. Whereas this Glorious list is probably going to see a lot of its cards rotate, which that's why I wanted to get it out to you guys sooner rather than later, so you can at least enjoy it before Alice Cluster rotates. But as you can see, we're going to go ahead and get started with lots of he already has the reanimate stuff in his hand, so we'll just see how this gets going. So Fox and Glorious have entered the field. I have my energized token because I am going on the draw. Hits that Priscia's Memoria right off the bat and plays a Tama, draws a card, and then passes the turn after pitching a Rachel to draw a card off of Glorious's effect. So the reason why he uses the pitch so heavily is because if he gets Resonators to the grave, he can cast Valentina for pretty cheap and then start reanimating them right away. I'm going to see that first turn Killing Stone, and I'm going to go ahead and energize into Abdul because I don't necessarily want James to get a bunch of enter effects off, seeing that he has a Tama and stuff. He sees that second Priscia's Memoria, pitches the Light Dog to cycle a card, sees that Dawn of the Earth, which is no good for Fox. It's a very good counter to Fox. Draw for my turn, go ahead and do Judgment. Not seeing blue-white means that if I can get a Fox activation this turn, it's pretty helpful. The faster I can get ahead of him, the better I am better suited to be able to answer something like Dawn of the Earth. So swing in for Abdul for 6, doesn't stop it, so 34 life there. Gonna go ahead and play a Fox Spirit, which is another new addition to the Fox deck as of Echoes of the New World. I personally think this card is an amazing tool for Fox, being able to make it a Wind or a Darkness Resonator that has a really decent body and doesn't get automatically killed by Tama. I think makes it way better than playing something like Monkey Trapped in Life. It's just much more utility and has a lot more staying power and can be a body early on if necessary. Play my Griffin after sacrificing my Abdul and Fox Spirit. Get Killing Stone, Black Silence. And I'm worried, seeing the colors, that I might have to deal with. I want to see kind of what a little bit more of his hand is. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Nameless Mist and see if I can pull something out of here. Seeing the Dawn of the Earth, Curse of the Kyuubi, and those are the only two options. I'm going to get rid of the Dawn right away because I'm not casting a lot of spells, so Curse of the Kyuubi doesn't really do much, whereas Dawn of the Earth is a big hindrance to Fox. So ripping that out of his hand now is pretty big. Plus, then I get to put a 1/1 counter on my Griffin. Going to go ahead and pass the turn there, and then before he draws, I'm going to shuffle in a Killing Stone. Calls for a stone, hits another Priscia's Memoria. You see he has another Dawn of the Earth in his hand that he top decked there. Thankfully, he won't be able to cast it. Plays a Sha Wu Jing, which makes my spells a little bit more expensive. Now, I could choose just to not deal with that Sha Wu Jing right now, but I do have Heteroclite and Severing Winds in my hand, so I do want to be able to make use of those. I'm going to go ahead and call Stone with Fox. Hit another Blasting Waves. debating whether or not one I want to put creatures on or spend a turn trying to deal with the Sha Wu Jing. I do decide to pay 2 because of the extra cost from Sha Wu Jing to use Heteroclite Excalibur and get him off the board. I will lose 5 life for that, but I think it's more than, it's totally fine. I don't think I catch there that it's supposed to be RFG'd, but it doesn't necessarily really matter at this point. I'm going to go ahead and swing in for 13, which takes James down to a cool 2,000. So half the life down, and the game's already started. Or the game's just barely started. James is going to go ahead and do Judgment. I know why he's doing this. He really needs to put some pressure on the board and be able to answer all my Griffins and things, even if it sets him back a little bit from being able to cast that Dawn of the Earth. And having that Rachel in his hand means that he can just bounce my Griffin if necessary. Call for another stone. Get a Blasting Waves. The only red card in the deck is End of Days. We only play a couple copies of it, and therefore we only use 2 Blasting Waves just so we have the red. We're ramping so much we usually see it when we need to, but other than that we primarily just need it for the green. End of Days is going to be very good, I think, post-rotation, especially considering the fact that we are going to be losing Dance of Shadows for recurrence. End of Days just helps Fox have that kind of recursion package that really ramps it ahead and can just seal out games, especially versus Control. Especially even more so when Control is going to be losing a lot of their counter spells. An End of Days can just mean the end of the game against a lot of Control decks. Played the Messenger of Lilia's Petal to try to stack a stone. And I'm going to play another Fox Spirit. Attempting to move into combat at this point. Griffin is going to swing in for 13. Debating on whether or not I want to try to use Manticore right off the bat, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and swing in. It's better to play reactive with Fox once you've flipped. He's going to cast the Rachel, and in response I'm going to use Fox effects to sacrifice the Griffin and my Fox Spirit to grab another Griffin, I believe, at this point, ramp even further ahead. So he doesn't take the damage from the Griffin swing, but at the same time, he did waste another Rachel, which is good for me. Hit another Killing Stone there off the top, as well as another Black Silence. I'm going to go ahead and cast Rezard. So the Rezard is here because I'm starting to notice that he might be trying to recur some of those cards back so that he can use them more and more. And so Rezard just helps me get to say no to that. I did tap that poorly, though. I will admit I should have used the Killing Stone instead of a Black Silence, so that if I wanted to sacrifice some creatures this turn, I wouldn't have had to just waste the potential 1 will from the Killing Stone. Hits that Kaguya Stone of Sorrow, decides to pay the 3 life. He seems to really need to hit that 5 will this turn. Casts a Celestial Wing Seraph. Now I'm debating what might be coming out here, so I'm going to go ahead and wait and see. An Arla's going to come out, which is very nice to be able to protect his Celestial Wing Seraph. With me having things like Amit and things of that nature, that's pretty beneficial for him. He passes the turn there, though. I'm going to go ahead and recover, and then call a stone with Fox, hitting another Killing Stone. I have at the top deck a card that's very, very good for Fox moving forward called Planting Beans. It lets me send a card from my deck to my graveyard, and there was a card in Echoes that became massive utility for Fox. So we don't have to worry about playing Monkey Trapped in Life at all anymore. We can just play Demonic Dead. By paying 5 life, we can bring him back from the graveyard and rest it at instant speed. This is very good for Fox. Just get him into your graveyard, and then you can just kind of cycle him forever to keep sacrificing for your other things without having to worry about spending will for it. Makes Fox much more efficient and smooth, and Planting Beans just helps make that happen. I'll swing in with Rezard for 500. James is debating on what he wants to do here. Decides to block with the Tama, and I'm okay with that. Go into combat, I'll swing with Messenger of Lilius Petal. He decides to block with Celestial Wing Seraph here, which I think is a little bit of a misplay, because I'm going to go ahead in response pay 500 life to bring back my Demonic Dead into play, and then immediately sacrifice Messenger, Killing Stone, and Demonic Dead to go grab an Amit. And the reason I'm going to grab Amit is because I'm going to go ahead and kill that Arla right off the bat, which will then give me 800 life, and now leave Celestial Wing Seraph wide open for an attack, especially now that it's tapped. At which point, like I said, I'll just swing in for 12 at his face, take him down to 300, and then play an Abdul just to make sure nothing's going to flicker and cause any more problems. James is going to go ahead. He's thinking about whether or not he wants to swing in with Celestial. He knows he needs to try to leave up blockers, but also try to kill things. He's going to swing at my face and gain 300 life, which I'm fine with, and I'll take the 10. Then he's going to pay 2. He's actually going to use the Dawn of the Earth here to try to untap his Celestial Wing Seraph, give it a little bit of a bump, and leave it open as a blocker. It also gives it barrier. In response, though, I'm going to go ahead and say no to that. I do this really poorly. I could have done this much better by keeping the Abdul, but you're going to see me go ahead and, I could have brought back Demonic Dead, but instead I'm just going to sacrifice Abdul and Griffin. Start to move to sacrifice Amit, but then I go, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I need a much heavier hitter. It's better for me to do it this way. Sacrifice the Griffin to go grab another Amit. And then I'll kill the Celestial Wing Seraph and gain another grand. So I took a grand of life, but ultimately I gained 1100 because of the Killing Stone and then killing that. Draws off the Dawn of the Earth because it still gets to finish resolving it. He attempts to cast Soul Hunt. Reason why he's doing this is because then if he can put another blocker on the field, then he'll have 2 blockers, and he can try to stall out for a while. I'm going to go ahead and Severing Winds it just to cancel it. It is the second card of the turn because of the Dawn of the Earth. And then at the end of his turn, after he plays this blocker here to try to survive, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Demonic Dead. So he pays 1, brings in the Sacred Bird of Wind. Passes the turn, and then at the end of his turn I'm going to pay the 5 life to bring in Demonic Dead. Comes into play rested, and then I can recover everything on my turn and then just swing in for lethal. I'm going to go ahead and call a stone. Don't get a Killing Stone, so I lose some utility here, but it's not a huge issue. I'm going to go ahead and play Tama, see what I can maybe draw into off of it. Maybe I can even draw into another Tama and just kill the Sacred Bird and guarantee a win, even though I already have it. Swing in for 15 with the Amit. He blocks the first one. Swing in for the 15 with the Amit. He blocks with that, and then I can just swing in and pay however much life I need to pump up and swing in if I, for some reason, needed to. So that will be game 1. Moving into game 2. He is once again going to go ahead and pick being on the play, which I think is probably the smart move against Fox. It creates this weird situation where I can't necessarily go off turn 1, but it also provides me some versatility in the fact that I can play turn 1 Messenger. In Alice Cluster included, I could technically play it turn 1 Blessing of Yggdrasil, but I'm not playing that in this list. And here you see, I missed the first turn, but now I just go ahead and guarantee that my next turn I'll get a Killing Stone. This is the thing where it slows down. By taking the play against Fox, you slow Fox down, but you increase Fox's consistency, which is a kind of a weird trade-off. So it's just a matter of where you want to go with that. By the way, if you're wondering, those are Italian promo Killing Stones. I like nice things. So I managed to pick some of those up. Huge thanks to the guys who were willing to hook me up with those. Calls the stone, passes turn. Go ahead and hit that Killing Stone like I wanted. And then I'm going to attempt to play an Abdul, which he is going to immediately Seal of Wind and Light. And then I'll swing in for 6 with Messenger of Lilia's Petal, taking him down to 34. Calls for Stone, hits that Dark Depths. He's finally seeing a lot more of his darkness stuff in this match. Last match he didn't really see much of it. He's going to pitch to try to cycle. Then passes to me. He does have access to Dawn of the Earth here, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to Nameless Mist you first. I see that he does have the Dawn of the Earth, and I'm going to pull it out of his hand. I failed to put the +1/+1 counter on my Messenger here. He's going to go ahead and cast that Curse of the Kyuubi, which is fine for me. It pulls out my other Nameless Mist, but I only have 3 total. So drawing 2 cards out that early, and again, getting him to waste a turn. I whipped a Cancel Spell and a Dawn of the Earth out of his hand, which are always just great for me. And so now I have really good knowledge of what's going on. I also haven't called for Stone yet this turn, which if I had done, I would have been able to survive. But I would rather kind of bait him out for casting the Curse, and then I'll go ahead and cast the Fox Spirit now that he can't Seal of Wind and Light it, so that next turn I can just flip and go off. So this should be 7 damage, but I forgot to put the counter on, so I'm just going to track it as 6, taking James down to 28. Gets that Soul Debt, which is also an amazing card for anti-Fox. He is choosing to pay the 3 life there to keep his Kaguya Stone into play. Chooses to leave the Rachel on bottom so that next turn he can pitch the big dude to the grave to get into Rachel easier for inheritance. And he's going to go ahead and make me discard a couple of cards. I've got a Heteroclite in there. I think I have an Abdul. He picks the middle card, hits my Kitsune King, and I'm going to go ahead and pitch the Heteroclite. It's not super important, and I recognize that his Resonators aren't terribly huge, and would become huge at instant speed, which at that point Heteroclite's not super effective. Going to go ahead and bring out the Fox. Moving to combat, attempt to hit him for 6 or 7. He blocks with Tama, poke him for 3, take him down to 22. Pay 1. To have the floating, just some floating will, and I'll cast use Fox's effect. It's going to attempt to Dawn of the Earth, but I did have the Keen Sense to prevent it. So thankfully that is going to get to resolve. I used the floating green from the Killing Stone, so now I have lots of available options. Griffin's going to come in, get me another Killing Stone. Out comes the Fox Spirit, and then I'll pass turn and shuffle in my Killing Stone again. The optimum play there would have actually been to just play the Fox and use the 2 Fox Spirits to sacrifice. Could have kept the Messenger of Lilia's Petal on board for use later, as well as having a greater, stronger body, but this is just the way that the plays worked. Hits another Perseus Memoria. pays 2 to play the Valentina. He does have 5 Resonators in his grave. So now, if I don't answer that Valentina immediately, I am going to have a bad time because it is going to get to bring him back a creature every single turn, including his big 1000/1000 and anything else that dies. So, not good for me. Calling for Stone, hitting a Blasting Waves. I'll go ahead and play Planting Beans. Gets Demonic Dead into play for use, which helps to speed up Fox again. Like I said, being able to access Fox with a Darkness Resonator at instant speed during either player's turns is just insanely good for improving Fox's consistency. Not to mention, it's another body that is safe from being pinged by things like Tama or Alice's World of Madness. I'm going to go ahead and just pay the 5 life right now, go down to 36, bring it into play so that I can make use of it if I need to. Swing in the air for 12. He's going to go ahead and take that damage, takes him down to 900. Attempt to swing for 3, and he will go ahead and block with Valentina, at which point I will sacrifice the 3 things to bring out an Amit to just kill the Valentina outright. So I'll gain 1, he'll lose 1, go down to 800, seeing if he has any responses to Fox's effect, just to see if he had a Dawn of the Earth, because I was moving a little too fast there. He does not. I use the Amit and kill the Valentina. He's going to respond by using the Soul Debt, so Amit's going to come back to my hand, or the bottom of my deck, but Valentina is still going to get killed, and I will gain the 9 life from killing her. So thankfully I didn't have to worry about Valentina recurring anything, but if it had, that could have been pretty bad for me. Soul Hunt's going to get rid of my last creature. This is another misplay moment. I could have paid 500 life to bring back Demonic Dead and then just sacrificed it instead, but I made a different decision. I let him just go ahead and sacrifice it. Call for Stone, because I don't have any Killing Stones left. Hoping to see one. I do see one, but at this point it doesn't really matter, because I just go ahead and play Blazer, because I top decked it, and will swing over his head for 10 damage. So there was a little bit of an issue in the life tracking that we did on the spot. So you're going to see this game go on for a little bit while I'm talking, but that is the match, guys. So while this is playing out, huge thanks to James for playing me with the list. Huge thanks to Thomas on Team Ogre for sending me the list. Tons of fun. I absolutely adore Fox, and definitely recommend that people pick him up and try to learn how to play him. He's a very, very strong ruler. As I said before, please go ahead at the beginning of the video, please go ahead and check out the Patreon if you want to be a part of the exclusive Discord community and support the channel and what we're doing here. Really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, go ahead and like, comment, share out the video. And this is DMO73 signing off.